Here's a little something about myself. Okay, sorry about that. So here's a little something about myself. So I am a freelance social media manager. I've been doing this for like a year and about 7, 8 months or so. So my journey started as me being a social media virtual assistant. I landed my first client on Upwork, and then I landed my first social media management client through social media actually in about 6 months of me being in the whole social media management industry. So I have worked with both South African brands as well as international brands, but that's mostly through Upwork. And then something that is not social media management related, I am a student who's currently doing her third year. I study BA in industrial psychology and human resources. I know it's not social media management related, but I hope one day I'll be able to integrate the two. And besides social media management, I'm actually a business studies tutor at a high school. I also tutor English as well. And I'm also a mentorship community founder. I have my own mentorship group. There's a paid group as well as a free group, but I'll discuss that later on. So let's get into what you're going to get out of today's session. So, firstly, what you need to get started as a social media manager, from the tools and skills to the mindset needed for success. Secondly, I'm going to help you learn how to pitch yourself and position yourself as well, learn how to get your first client and stand out in a very competitive space. Thirdly, why social media management is a profitable path, understanding the income potential that comes with being in the industry, as well as the global demands as well. So let's get right into it, guys. So, this is what you're going to need to get started. But firstly, we all know what a social media manager is. And I think let's get into depth of what is a social media manager. We're not just people who post content on social media, guys. There's actually more to us. We're basically the person behind a brand's online presence. Through creating content, building community, and driving engagement across certain platforms such as your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and many more, actually. We help basically brands connect with people on social media to help them grow their reach, to help them also achieve specific goals through social media. At the end of the day, your social media goals need to align with your business goals, and that's where the social media manager comes in. So, here are some key responsibilities of a social media manager. So, firstly, strategy and planning. So, we don't just go in and just post, guys. There's actually so much that goes into one content piece. It has a goal and it needs to be able to achieve that specific goal, whether it's reach, whether it's what you call it, inquiries, whatever the goal might be, that post needs to be able to achieve that goal. So firstly, we need to be able to develop the content and platform strategies that align with the business's goals. We need to be able to create monthly content calendars and also research trends and target audience preferences. um, Something when it comes to researching trends, remember something can work for TikTok and not work for Instagram. Sometimes, depending on the business that you're working with, TikTok might not be beneficial for them, whereas they're supposed to be on a platform such as LinkedIn. So that's why research is actually very important because you need to understand where that business will get their specific audience or get their customers from. Secondly, content creation and management. We help with designing engaging posts, videos, and stories. We write compelling captions and copies, and we help to maintain a brand's consistency across all social media platforms. Thirdly, community engagement. So we monitor stuff such as comments, mentions, and DMs, respond to any audience questions and feedback, build and nurture an online community. Fourthly, analytics and reporting. So it's very important to track your KPIs. You need to know if whether are you achieving those specific goals. If you're not, obviously what you do, you re-strategize. So you track KPIs such as reach, engagement, and growth. You analyze performance data to improve results. And you also need to be able to create a report with the insights and recommendations that is easy for your client to understand and also be able to present it to your clients. Also, it's very important for us to be able to collaborate and communicate. So, working with marketing, sales, and customer support teams, keep clients or stakeholders updated on campaign progress. It's very important to be able to communicate when you're in the social media space, not just being able to communicate with the audience, but also being able to communicate with your clients. Because sometimes you do get people who honestly do not understand this whole social media thing and don't understand how it can be beneficial to their business. So you need to be able to be patient, be calm, communicate well so that they are able to understand what you are actually trying to help them with. Okay, so let's get into the skills you need to develop. And I also have some recommended courses. So I do recommend that you write these down as someone who's a beginner and go check them out. And hopefully, I believe they will be beneficial to you. So skills such as content creation, this is where you're going to learn to design engaging visuals and short form videos. So the courses that you can look at is Canva Design School Skillshare, right? Which is basically social media content creation, which you can find on Canva. And then there's Adobe Express and CapCut tutorials that you can find on YouTube. Guys, YouTube is it's actually such a great learning platform because number one, it's free. And also if you're someone who doesn't like taking like online courses and writing and all of those things, you can genuinely just watch a video while you're doing the dishes, watch a video while you're probably just chilling and don't have anything to do, watch a video that's very insightful. Even I myself, till this day, I watch a lot of YouTube videos while I'm working because I can retain a lot of knowledge from just hearing what the person has to say. Secondly, copywriting. This involves writing captions and hooks that drive engagement. I know it's easy for us to use AI and we do recommend it, but also sometimes you need to come in with your own flavor. You need to come in with a human voice because right now we can all see if something was written by chat. So that's why copywriting is very important, which we can find with on Skillshare. You can also find it at a specific YouTuber, which is Alex Catton's Copy Post YouTube channel. This is free. And yeah, so we get into community management. This is where you respond to DMs, handle comments, and manage brand tone. This obviously seems easy. Like, no, I'm just responding to a DM. I'm just responding to a comment. No, remember, you're a brand. You need to sound like that brand. You need to sound that the way you say this is the brand voice and the brand tone, you need to be able to maintain that consistency in every single thing that you do. From the captions to when you're speaking, when the person who's doing the content for you is speaking. So you need to be able to maintain what brand consistency. So you can get this on YouTube, Hootsuite Academy, and Corsa. So there's Meta Social Media Marketing Certificate, which has a community management course in it as well. And then there's social community management tips that you can find on YouTube. And then we get into analytics and reporting. So this is where you track what's working, why it's working, then use that data to grow, or you track what isn't working. Remember, the whole point of strategizing is to see what works and what doesn't work. So you need to be very realistic. This is what I tell people. Sometimes a strategy can take 3 months, sometimes it can take six, sometimes it can take four. It takes time. So with you tracking what you're doing, you need to see, okay, this is working. This is not working. Let's change it up. Let's switch it up. And that's something you also need to make your client as well understand. So you can look at Google Academics Academy. HubSpot has some really good courses, such as social media analytics course. And then you can also look at Skillshare as well. So lastly, Client communication. This is very important for you to set boundaries, be able to also manage expectations and present professionally. I really want to emphasize on managing expectations because it's really important. Someone is going to come to you and be like, I want 100K followers in 2 months or something like that. You need to be very realistic. You need to be there like, I'm not in control of who follows and who doesn't follow. I'm not in control of getting you there. Like these people will come with crazy stuff, guys. And it's to a point where I myself, from personal experience, that person was actually buying followers. And I had to basically fire that client because that doesn't align with what I do. I'm into organic marketing. So I can't do stuff that doesn't align with what I'm currently with. So that's why I say manage expectations, especially when you are a beginner. I do believe in fake it till you make it, but don't go over your head now. I beg. Please don't go over your head. Please. Ne? I believe in fake it till you make it. Be there and be like, I can do this, but don't tell me you're gonna give me 100K followers in 2 months, knowing very well you know you can't do that, especially when probably through organic marketing. So please, guys, ne, be a star, but don't be a star like that. Okay. So you can learn this through LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn has very nice courses actually. So like the course you can search is Communicating with Confidence. Skillshare has Freelancing for Creators, which also involves a section that talks about setting client boundaries. And then also on YouTube, just go there and search client communication for freelancers. So let's get into the tools that you will need. Obviously, there's a lot of different tools out there that you can honestly um, dabble in, see what works for you. But these are a couple of my own recommendations. So, firstly, Canva. Canva's a star. We all use Canva. And please invest in Canva Pro. It saves your life. It's very easy to use. And I think it's very beneficial. It's a nice investment, you know? So, this is where you're going to create your posts, your carousel, your stories, and even more. There's Meta Business Suite. This is very nice when you're managing Facebook and Instagram together. Then we look at Google Docs and Google Sheets. You can use this for planning, tracking your client work, as well as reporting. You can use Google Sheets to like input maybe like your weekly analytics so that when you put together your reports, you go back to that Google Sheets spreadsheet that you kept putting in your work in and just, compare. Scheduling tools, we have Latta, we have Buffer, sorry, and Planoly. And there's also Metricool, which I also recommend. Communication tools, we have Zoom for meetings, we have Gmail, we have Calendly to help you book your discovery calls easily. You can actually also do this through Google Calendar as well. They have a system where you can, book your appointments as well. So I also recommend that because it's linked to your Gmail. So that's also very easy. So let's get into mindset. But firstly, let me sorry, I get dry throat very easily. So I'm going to be taking a sip. But let's get into mindset now. Mindset plays a very huge role in your freelancing journey. It does because of, remember, our journeys are not the same. And I think one of the reasons why some of us are where we currently are is because of trial and error. It's because of we kept pushing, even when things didn't seem easy, we kept pushing. We didn't look for a quick fix. We understood that today I'm gonna, make it big. Tomorrow might be a slow day. So I feel like it's very important to have the right mindset. And firstly, you do not need to know everything to start. You grow through action, you grow through implementing. In order for you to know if your strategy works, you need to implement it. So now, if you're overcomplicating it all the time and be like, I don't have the right strategy, I don't have this, I don't have that, how do you know it's not right if you haven't implemented it? How do you know something is not working if you haven't implemented it? So you can't come here and be like, oh my gosh, I'm not good at creating content, but I haven't seen you create any content. You have amazing ideas, but you can't execute them. Why? So that's why it's very important. Please let go of perfection. Let that thing, leave it in the closet, let it go, lock it up. because progress is better than perfection. It's better for you to see that, okay, cool, my portfolio it's actually growing and it's becoming better than you waiting for, no, I need to get a client, I need to do this. Guys, we all people who have social media. Grow your own social media accounts. Use that as an example to show that you are able to manage a social media management account. It's very important to also treat freelancing like a business and not a side hustle. There's so much that goes into freelancing in general. And that's why it's very important to treat it like a business from start to finish. And remember that rejection doesn't mean failure, it's just redirection. At the end of the day, not everyone is a client for you. Sometimes my client probably won't be Mupulusi's client. So it's very important to understand there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of businesses out there. Some are going to want to work with you, some are not going to want to work with you, and sometimes it's not even about your work. One thing I realized is that that's why it's very important to be able to communicate. That's why it's very important to have a presence. That's why it's very important to be confident in what you're doing. Because sometimes you get there, you know the work, but you're not confident in your work. And someone sees that. And that's why they're not working with you, because they feel like this person lacks a bit of confidence and I need someone who knows what they're doing. And lastly, consistency, 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 even regardless of results, consistency is very important. At the end of the day, your efforts are building momentum, you seeing yourself going. That little thing that you're doing, from taking a course each day, listening to a YouTube video, you working on your portfolio, you doing more projects, it's building you to becoming that social media manager. At some point, you'll find yourself being someone who knows that, okay, from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m., it's my working time, and you're just doing it so effortlessly that when you start juggling clients, it actually becomes easier for you to manage clients, because during that time you were working on building yourself as a social media manager. So yeah, that concludes the first part of of our session. So secondly, we're going to get into how to pitch yourself and position yourself as a social media manager. So firstly, let's get into what is it pitching and why it's actually very important. So pitching is the process of reaching out to potential clients, and offering services in a clear, compelling, and confident way. So, as a freelance social media manager, you are your own salesperson. And I think that's why, for me personally, it's very important for me to build my own online presence, my own online brand presence, because people see the social media manager in me through my content. And that's why mostly my clients reach out to me rather than me having to go to them, because they already see. Basically, I don't do salesy content, but I'm kind of selling myself through the content, right? And pitching yourself is how you put yourself in front of opportunities instead of waiting for them to come to you. So you reaching out to someone via DMs, first thing they're going to do is look at your social media profile. That's what you're going to do. So imagine you pitching to a client, right? Sending a DM, and then they look at your profile. You have no profile picture. It just says social media management. You only have like two posts, and it's like, okay, if you can't manage your own social media, own social media, how are you gonna manage mine? you know so it's very important to make sure that you present yourself well, you sell yourself well, make yourself sound like a necessity to that person's business. Show them that you are needed to be in that position in order to take their business into the next level. So like the reason why it matters, right? Firstly, you create your own opportunities. Instead of waiting for job posts, this is you taking control, reaching out directly to brands or businesses that need help. So, what I usually recommend is that you go on social media, look for the businesses that you feel like align with you as a social media manager. Do like what do you call it, a Google spreadsheet, right? You write down the business, you look for email, you look for their Instagram handle everywhere, and you reach out to them where you feel like is most convenient. Sometimes if it's a small business, email actually works very best because they do check their emails. If it's a big business, do the DMs, do everything, like do whatever you can. But like I said, look for businesses that align with you as a social media manager. Look for every single content information that you can find. And just one of the days, sit down, look at your spreadsheet, and start reaching out to clients. Probably two out of the 10 that you found will respond, and hopefully you can close a deal. This also helps you build confidence. The more you pitch, the the more you actually get better at articulating your value and being able to be confident in your work, be confident in what you do. This also helps you to learn your ideal client. So through pitching, you tend to discover like which types of clients are best fit for your services and your values. Because also, guys, you can't just work with everybody as a person. Like I gave an example earlier of a client buying followers, that doesn't align with me. That doesn't align with who I am. So I'm not going to work with that person. That's why it's very important for you to understand where you stand in the market, who you are as a social media manager, what your services are, what values you bring, what industry do you want to grow in. This also helps you set a tone for your own brand. So how you pitch, your tone, your style, your clarity shows potential clients how you'll communicate and also deliver work. That's why confidence starts from the beginning till the end. Be about it. Like be about your work. So a good pitch needs to include who you are and what you do, what problem you can help the business solve. This is very important actually. You can't Someone is going to ask you, so how can you help me? you know they, in their eyes, probably, especially someone who probably doesn't even have the social media presence, they're good with them like a word of mouth situation. I had um someone who did my cake for my birthday, and she works well with word of mouth. So I posted something on my personal page about her cakes, and then I'm like, hey, what's your TikTok, what's your Instagram? People want to know about the cakes. And she's like, no, I haven't been, on social media like that. I'm like, and girl, people need you on social media. People want your services. They loving, the product and everything. And then she's like, and I'm genuinely comfortable with the word of mouth. But I made her realize that, what, social media is a good way for you to actually upscale your business, especially as someone who wants to expand, especially as someone who wants to hire people. So you need to be able to be like, this is the problem that I'm seeing, and this is how I'm going to help you solve it. And then you come in and say, this is why I am a good person for the job, so that they don't go searching for a Tumi, searching for social media managers and see Tumi pop up because, Tumi has an online presence, whereas you don't even have an online presence. You need to make sure that when they leave there, they're like, I'm going to hire you and not hire the next person. Do not Make sure that when you're creating an opportunity, you're creating it for yourself, because it's very important to make sure that when you're talking to someone about social media management, even if it's just a conversation, for instance, with me and the cake person, it was just a genuine conversation. And I was like, and I'll be willing to help. And she's like, and I will definitely contact you, because she saw that I can actually help her, And then obviously it's very important to tell them a simple next step. I would like to hop on a quick call with you, 10-minute discovery call. That's something that I usually do at the end of, I usually send emails, because I'm not about to sit here and say do something and I don't do it. So I've been into like client outreach lately. So what I do, I send an email, and then I'd say, hey, I'd be open to hop on like a 10-minute, discovery call with you and discuss this further. Because also it's like, and you want it to be something that someone doesn't feel like it's a drag. Like if you say, oh, a 30-minute, they're like, do I even have 30 minutes in my day to make time for this? If you're like, nah, just a 10-minute quick call, they come back to you, they're like, okay, call me. And then you call them, and that's when you close it out for yourself, and you go into the next steps, whether it's a proposal that you need to put together for them. So yeah, so when you start pitching, now that you're ready, to pitch sooner than you think. So once you've practiced the core skills and start offering your services as a social media manager. You can either do one or two free projects for testimonials or case studies. Sometimes I recommend just make sure you have a good portfolio on Upwork and you can get a client, make sure your rates are lower and you can actually make money while you're actually working on a project. But also doing like free projects actually really help. Sometimes reaching out to someone and saying, hey, for can I just do like a month's worth of work and show you what I have, you know? And then they can also potentially be like, okay, let me hire you, you know? So sometimes in the beginning, you will find spaces where you have to do free work. It's not a bad thing. People volunteer all the time. People out there volunteer for a whole year without getting anything. All you have to do is just get one or two people, do social media for them, build, build your portfolio, and then boom, when you pitch yourself to people, sometimes people ask for your portfolio. Now you come with a portfolio, it doesn't have any pages you've managed. People also like numbers. People like seeing that, oh, you got 100K views on a video, oh, you managed to get 300K views on a video. They want to see the analytics, you know, and they want to see where it comes from so that when they search the page, they go to the page and see that, oh, actually, this is real. All right. Please don't wait for confidence to appear. It comes from action and feedback. I am actually an introvert. I I like it I'm still in awe that I'm able to say I'm a tutor and teach people. I'm still in awe that I can sit here and actually like speak to you guys and be like confident in it and confident in what I'm saying. I wasn't a very confident person, but with time, through creating my content on social media, being able to speak to the camera more often, that's why I'm able to sit here. That's why I say whether you're an introvert and you're uh, oh, thank you. If you're someone who genuinely is shy, just take your phone, take your camera, and just shoot a video of you talking. Talk to yourself in the mirror, like practice. I feel like confidence also comes with practice, you know? So don't wait for it to appear. Act on it, get feedback on it, do better, you know? For instance, I had a client event, right? So my client gave me feedback on how I acted in the event, and then she was like, and you know what, I felt like because it was such a large crowd, you basically shied away in the crowd, and I wanted you to be more out there, put yourself out there. And I was like, and I can actually see that. And that's the type of feedback that helps you grow. So that next time you're in that particular space or you go into an event, you're able to push yourself out there. Guys, you are not going to find anything in being comfortable. It's nice, but it's not nice. If you want to grow, if you want to be better and do better, you need to be uncomfortable. You need to be uncomfortable to a point where you want to cry and be like, hey, is this me? So don't wait for confidence to appear. Do what you need to do. Okay. Build a simple portfolio or even use, like I said, your own social media. Grow your own social media. Start positioning yourself as an expert in social media management. People are not gonna like you hardly ever get people asking you how many clients you have. Hardly ever. Guys, I started my own social media. If I have to be honest, I started my own social media without having a social media management client. I was still a social media virtual assistant, but I positioned myself as a social media manager. No? And that's how I got my social media manager client throughout social media because I positioned myself as an expert in social media management. I started talking about social media management. I started talking about what it is to be a social media manager, how to build your portfolio, what you need as a client, and I attracted that client. So even if you feel like, okay, I'm not getting anything from Upwork or any of these platforms, you yourself go on social media, start creating content. Start creating content. Utilize what you have in the palm of your hands. Utilize what you have in the palm of your hands. Okay. So this is how you are gonna position yourself. So standing out is about showing value and clarity. So firstly, you are gonna pick a niche. This could be in the beauty industry, fitness industry, coaching, wellness, real estate, etc. So for me personally, I am in the fitness at leisure industry. Um, I love the beauty industry as well, and I'm actually now interested in the real estate industry. So these, you see, with the fitness and the beauty and the wellness, they kind of align, but the real estate is something totally different. But it's something I'm also interested in because I also believe in you need to pick a niche in order for you to be able to attract a client, but also you can't say you're in the beauty industry and you actually know nothing about the beauty industry. And you also can't say you don't like the real estate industry if you haven't tried it. I believe in dabbling in everything in order to find what works for you. Especially as a beginner, you have an opportunity to genuinely just try everything, do everything so that you know where you stand, but eventually pick a niche so that when you start looking for clients, you know that, okay, I'm going to look for clients in the coaching industry. I'm going to look for clients in the wellness industry. I'm going to go look for clients in the law, legal industry, you know? Remember to create a clear portfolio or even, like I said, an Instagram page that showcases your style, your online presence, what you bring to the table. Focus on benefits and not just services. Don't just come here and be like, I help brands grow engagement, Be like, I help brands grow engagement versus I post for you. Okay, you post for me. I can also post. Like, what difference are you making? Whereas you get there and be like, the post that I'm currently making, this is what is behind it, and this is how I'm going to help you grow. Okay. Like I said, confidence sells. Even if you're new, act like a pro. Act like you know what you're talking about. Don't come here and speak about something and like not be confident in what you're saying and act like you don't believe you believe in yourself, believe in what you're saying, believe in the words that are coming out of your mouth. Because if you believe in it, trust me, the next person is going to believe in it. If you don't, then why should I believe you if you yourself can't believe in yourself? Okay. So let's get into where you can find your clients. So obviously it's very important to start where your audience is already. Upwork. Upwork. I know most people have heard of Upwork. Please, Upwork. I recommend Upwork because it worked for me. So be able to set up a strategic portfolio and apply for jobs daily. Then we have Fiverr. This is where you can go and offer more like beginner friendly like packages. Maybe say like I can create 10 graphic posts for you, or I can do community engagement, Facebook groups. I recommend joining, business, entrepreneur, or niche groups that provide value. Maybe if you're in the real estate niche, you want to try that out, maybe go into real estate groups, start offering your services. And I think when you do this, do research. Go look at the people who are in the group, look at their social media, right? And sometimes you can put a post in the group or actually contact those people privately and be like, hey, I'm seeing that this is a problem. This is how I can help you solve it, and this is why I'm a good fit for it, you know just like that. Remember, problem, how you're going to solve it, and why you're a good fit. So, very important. Like I said, Instagram DMs, this is how you reach out to small brands and be able to offer help. LinkedIn, this is where you can connect directly with certain business owners and also create helpful content as well, especially if you're someone who wants to get into the corporate space. Guys, social media is not just for people who are like beauty, glitz, glam. There's law firms out there who want their social media um, managed. There's HR agencies that want their social media managed. So if you're someone maybe like myself who has a degree in like industrial psychology and HR, and I want a client more in that space, I can actually go into that space and offer my services, you know, something that aligns with you. So let's get into how you're going to price yourself as a beginner social media manager. So I know that pricing yourself can feel overwhelming at first, but it's honestly something that you grow into. So let's get into how you can price yourself as someone who doesn't know how to price themselves. So industry benchmarks, right? So beginner social media managers on platforms like Upwork typically charge from $5 to $25 per hour. This is from like 88 rand to like 470, typically, right? So as a beginner, if you don't have anything, I recommend go low, guys. Go low, go low, because people on Upwork, I believe, are looking for something that's affordable but also valuable at the same time. So go low and then you'll grow into it. For instance, with me, I started at $5. Now I'm at like 10 due to like my experience on the platform. So yeah, so and then if we get into stuff such as your average monthly packaging for beginners. So let's just say, for instance, you have one platform, two platforms, 3 posts per week. You can charge from like between $100 to like 500, but in rands, obviously that's like 1.7 to like 8.8, depending on the scope of work. Depending on this, if it's like, let me just say, for example, if it's like one platform and they're like, okay, create 3 posts, and then the post, maybe one is a video, two it's graphics, every single week, and then maybe engage. If you have to engage, please charge for community engagements, right? When you have to like manage a community, charge for that as well. And then maybe for that, I genuinely like charge between 1.5 to 2,000 rands, depending on the platform as well, and how much maintenance it requires, as well as depending on the brand's presence as well. Because if you have to engage with a brand page that has like 100,000 followers, the engagement is very high. So you're probably going to get a lot of inquiries, or you're going to get a lot of comments that you have to respond to. So definitely be strategic when it comes to your pricing. So clients are often more willing to invest when your offer is clear, when you know what you are offering and they see the benefit of your offer. That's why I say when you're pitching, it's important to tell them the problem, how you're going to solve it, and why you are a good fit for it. This is why it's important to you to just demonstrate basic results or case studies. That's why I said in your portfolio, it's very important for them to see numbers, to see analytics, to see like, oh, you got this view, like, because I don't want to lie, people can do basic editing, people can go on Canva and create graphics, like simple graphics in simple terms. You just need to show them numbers, show them the analytics, and tailor your pricing to your clients' goals. It's very important to size up your clients. Né? And what I mean by this is researching your clients and seeing what they're capable of when it comes to the budgets, right? And being able to offer them that value that is worth their money. So there are very common pricing models. There's hourly, monthly retainers, and project basis. So hourly, this is honestly great for when you're doing project based work or maybe like admin work. So you can charge like between 250 to like 500 rand per hour. Monthly retailers, which are best for like ongoing management, this can be between 3,000 to 10,000, like I said, depending on your platforms as well as the volume of the work. Thirdly, project basis. This is maybe like if you have to just do like a social media management strategy or like an audit or like a content calendar, content plans, 1,000 to like 5,000, or even if you have to maybe like do a client shoot as well. So here's a few tips for when you're pricing yourself. So like I said, start slightly lower, build your portfolio, then gradually increase every 2 to 3 clients. Like increase your offering because now you have something to back up what you're saying. And offer like simple packages. Don't overcomplicate your packages to a point where now you also can't do the scope of work that is in your package. Make sure your packages have the things that you are able to do as a beginner. Like, be transparent, Be realistic, manage expectations, be confident, and be willing to also revise your work as you gain experience. Keep in mind your time, the tools, and the value you're providing. At the end of the day, you're not charging for just the post, you're charging for strategy, creativity, and results. So make sure that the money you're charging someone can be able to pay for the Canva, can be able to pay for your scheduling tool as well, and maybe whatever you're using to help the client, it can be able to pay for that and then also be able to pay you at the end of the day. And you is not just you doing one graphic, it's you being able to strategize, you being able to align the brand, you able to maintain consistency. So be very strategic in pricing, but also remember where you are, and also be real with yourself, be transparent with your client. Like I said, don't come here and tell us you can get us 100K followers in 2 months, knowing very well you haven't even touched a social media page, right? So, yeah. So let's get into the last bit: why social media is a profitable freelance path. Right. So the demand is real, guys. The demand is honestly real. There's a need for skilled social media managers, and it's growing fast than ever. Businesses are actually actively looking for help. Some businesses, guys, don't even know that they need a social media manager. They just need to come in there and be like, hey, you need me. This is why you need me. That's how I'm going to help you. And, sometimes people through conversation realize the benefits of something, you know so like over 91% of businesses use social media for marketing, but many lack the time or expertise to manage it effectively. Right. So you'll get there and a brand is not consistent. You can go there and be like, hey, I can be able to help you gain consistency in posting. And so that you are able to, because sometimes it's very important to have a brand online presence. Sorry. It's very important because when we search on Google, when we search for something, the Instagram pops up, this pops up, and we go. And also nowadays, we live in a world where aesthetics is very important. So on a platform such as Instagram, we go there and we sell aesthetics. On TikTok, we go there and we sell human connection, different platforms. So the demand for social media marketing skills has grown over 32% year over year on freelancing platforms such as Upwork and Fiverr. Even small businesses are prioritizing online presence, and freelancers are more affordable than hiring an in house social media manager. So, this is why this is a profitable path. So, monthly retainers can range from like 2,000 to like 15,000 Rand per client, depending on the scope of work, also dependent on your experience as well, depending on what you're offering in your package. Remember that you can work from anywhere and on your own terms as a freelancer. There's room for you to also specialize in. You can specialize in ads. You can become a social media strategist. There's so much you can do in this space. Um, and obviously, there's a low startup cost. You genuinely don't need anything fancy. And once you establish referrals and the recurring income becomes so much easier. Income is just going to come like this because of you are now someone who we can, for instance, now you're in a community. We go there and we're like, and hey, they're looking for this, they're looking for that. You take that opportunity and you go with it because you have the experience for it. So that is actually the end. We are close to the end. This is now some final tips that I actually have for you, and I really want you guys to take this and do this. Start before you feel ready. Start before you feel ready. So today, go start. Please, please go start today. If you haven't started, please go start today. After the session for an hour, sit down and get started. Remember to be consistent with your content, with your outreach, with your skill building, and also join a community. You're already in a community like Collabra Hub, where you can go there and you can ask questions and be like, hey guys, this is what's happening. Or even just go there and post your portfolio and be like, can someone please review my portfolio for me? You can also join a free community like myself, which is for social media managers, as well as my mentorship group. I am open to anyone who is willing to join. But I like guys, one thing I really want to emphasize as well, we have access to so much information than our parents used to. Now, utilize it. Please utilize the information that you have. Make use for it. Make it work for you. Make it work for you. You joined this webinar for a reason. You joined this webinar for a reason, and you wanted something out of it. Take whatever you can out of it and please go use it. Use it today. Like I said, start before you feel ready. We are coming out as social media managers. We are coming out as successful social media managers this year. So I'm going to open the floor for some questions. I think we have about like 30 something minutes. So, guys, please do ask away. In the meantime, I'm just going to put up this page that has my social media manager, my social media, sorry, on it, as well as if you want to talk about the mentorship, you know what to do, and well as email me. But yeah, questions. Yes, Mupulusi.
All right. Sorry to me, I'll be taking over. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. It was very insightful. I always say to the people who are starting as social media managers, as freelancers, I am jealous. Because when I started, I never had this, like, I am jealous. And if you are starting right now, just know you have everything to start tomorrow. You don't even have to think twice. Whatever to me has been like teaching, it's it's going to help you. And
Mhm,
don't think about it twice. Like she said, start tomorrow.
mm,
So we have a few minutes, and if you have a question, you can just open your mic, raise your hand, and then open your mic. And I'll just check who's raising their hand. We're gonna go to Nagolo.
okay.
Hi, hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for this opportunity once again. I just wanted to ask a quick question with regards to social media, obviously. So, what happens if you already have like a social media platform, but it's not necessarily, it's just like lifestyle or whatever content that you're creating, and now I'm finding it very difficult to introduce social media. Like, I don't know, like, should I delete some of my contents, or should I create a new page for it? Like, how do I introduce it to my audience or to my future clients or in general?
So it's very, I understand your dilemma because it's something that I'm also actually currently dealing with. So what I would suggest is for you to integrate the content. So let's say with your lifestyle content, start putting the idea that you are a social media manager. So let's say if you're someone who is doing content in terms of like maybe you were going to restaurants, you know, for drinks or whatever with your friends. Now do a video of you maybe going to a coffee shop and working on something social media management related. You know, start
Mm,
introducing yourself as a social media manager on that page. I don't think it's necessary for you to start a new whole profile or anything. I feel like it's very important to bring everything together because at the end of the day, we're diverse people. We're doing different things, you know? So just start introducing yourself as a social media manager. So yeah.
okay. Okay,
Mhm,
thank you. Again, sorry. So my dilemma is I think I'm sitting around six something on 600 and something on TikTok and 1,000 and
mhm,
something on Instagram. And
mhm.
it's like, can I even teach people how to be like to manage their social media with such a low following? Or should I just kind of like perfect my page first and then introduce it to the people?
I got my first client, the one that I got through social media, when I had 200 followers. So it's not about the following. It's not like, even now, my Instagram is at like 300 followers. It's not about the following. It's about the value within your content. It's about the value that you bring at the end of the day. It's not about how much followers, it's about the value that you bring. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. I also wanted to add to what Tomelo is saying. Um, just because you're a social media manager, it's not determined by the number of followers. You're not supposed to prove that you have um, you have 8,000 followers or 5,000 followers. Now I can manage a business. It's
Mm,
about the results that you can provide to the clients.
mhm.
So if a client that's coming to you and saying, but when now you have 600 followers, no,
Yeah.
you know how to do the job. They shouldn't determine that on your profile. That's
Hmm.
your personal profile. You
Hmm.
understand? So it's none of their business. So you do the work if they want it. And
Yes.
we're gonna take more questions. Anyone? To me,
Yes.
someone also asked, please share the link to your mentorship group. Can you please paste that on the chat if that's possible?
Okay,
And
let me
then
see if I can't do that. This is the free group that the free community that I have.
awesome. And then there was a question before while you were at it. I have a certificate in digital marketing that I have obtained through an UDA City scholarship. I don't know what's that. I'm a little confused about where to start. Please advise.
Okay, so in I I don't know what is in digital marketing courses because I haven't done a digital marketing course. I've only done social media management related courses, right? So I genuinely feel like just do a social media management related courses. So these social media strategy courses on like HubSpot, go through something like that, and that's when you can now see if you can position yourself and maybe integrate what you learned from those digital marketing skills courses into social media management, and then take it from there, build your portfolio, build your online presence, however you want to take your direction, build your portfolio on Upwork. So that's what I can say in terms of that. I just want to,
Awesome. 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 I love HubSpot. I did my social media course on HubSpot because, like, digital marketing as a whole, there's a lot. We talk about
yeah,
email marketing, social media is there, but there's a lot. SEO, copywriting. So, digital marketing as a course is just a lot.
yeah,
So, pick something. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Do you want to do email marketing? Do you want to do social media? Do you
yeah,
want to
which
do,
one is it? Yeah.
oh, yeah, digital
Because, like I said,
marketing?
I haven't taken a digital marketing course, so I don't even know what's in them.
Yo, there's a lot in digital marketing. You
Yeah.
understand? So, um, also maybe when choosing what you really want to do, you just need to see what what you are really passionate about.
Mhm.
In terms of, do you really love social media, or are you that person who likes admin work? Do you
Yeah.
like doing research to see what best suits you? If you are research, maybe you can look at being a strategist. So there's
Yeah.
a lot in digital marketing. But as Tumi says, you can just try everything to see
What
what
works for you?
for you. So
Yeah.
just try. If you don't like social media, you can still do other things. Anyone wants to ask a question?
I posted the link to my free community in the chat for people who want to join. If you want to talk about the mentorship group, please DM me. Um, and then we'll discuss that. I
Thank you.
think there's a question in the chat. I don't know.
It's Kuleza. They said, "Hi, I have a question in terms of my age. I'm 16 years old and I would like to start, but I'm not sure if I'm too young to do it." Ooh,
Ish,
what a great question. I know
that's a
it's
great question because it's like,
that's
hey,
a great question. That is a great question.
like that's honestly that's something to think about because I honestly do not
Maybe
know.
we can open mics for anyone who wants to also add to that before I jump
Please.
in.
Because
Anyone
I
wants to
myself
say
am thinking about
something?
it now because it's like, okay, you're 16.
Hi
Hey,
everyone.
like they say, age is just a number. Let's hear.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Let's
Hi
hear.
everyone.
Tandeka wants to say something. Hi, Tandeka.
Hi. I hope you guys are well. I just joined in and I caught the question.
Mhm.
I think she can start with social media management. She can start as she's 16, but then I think when it comes to um, having it then as a business and
Mhm.
having to have tax, then she'd have to wait until she's 18. But
Yeah.
for experience and yeah, like hands-on experience, she can probably
Yeah.
start with clients that are, like clients that you would use to build your portfolio instead
Yeah.
of going for big
Yeah.
companies, as she obviously cannot apply to companies yet. So maybe
Mhm.
approach like small businesses,
Yeah.
makeup artists, like people that would actually hire her without needing all the official documentation like tax numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I feel like also maybe like project basis work as well. Small things to help you grow your experience. I think that would definitely be beneficial. No, that's a very good answer, Tandeka. But that's a question actually.
That's a really great answer because
Mhm.
yes, we might talk about documents, but there is someone who's going to be like, this person is just too young to handle my business. You
Yeah,
understand? Let's
yeah.
also let's also put ourselves in the client's shoes to say,
Choose,
hey,
yeah. Eh,
like
16.
hey, 16, who they really know how to handle my business.
Yeah.
Hey, someone wants to say something, but if you have a question, raise your hand. Okay. Okay, not Golo.
So I wanted to ask a question about, would you guys recommend that we we push people like for social media influencers and we're managing their social media and now they want campaigns and stuff. Would you advise that we ask them to do trade exchange like beauty bulletin services and stuff like that?
I think it depends on the influencer you're working with. I have worked with a digital content creator before, right? And with her, she was okay with trade exchanges, but then obviously it's like where that's something they can do by themselves, if we're being honest. That's
Yeah.
information they can access on their own accord. So I feel like when you get into influencer marketing, you need to be able to have connections to the brands, direct connections as a social media manager to the brands. I think that's why I haven't since then I haven't worked with a digital content creator because I myself felt like I wasn't really providing much value in that sense because this is something they can do for themselves, but they just don't have
Okay,
the
makes
time to
sense.
do it. That's the difference between them and probably someone who has the time to do it. So I think if you want to get into influencer marketing, try building connections with the brands. And when I say the brands, you don't need to know, high up people, but maybe some people who work in the marketing department, who are responsible for the packages or who are responsible for partnerships. It's all about building relationships. I feel like influencer marketing involves a lot of networking, a lot of knowing of people. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Nice one, Jumelo. Hey, influencer marketing is another topic for another day.
It is
And
like it's a whole different
that's also
thing.
part of digital marketing. So, guys,
Yeah.
digital marketing as a whole, it's just a lot. So maybe someone might really want to just specialize in influencer marketing PR is also one of the things that you need to be knowing when it comes to influencer marketing. So
Yeah.
it depends. Connections, a
I feel
very
like they're
important.
very important. Like I saw it like I said, I started with a digital content creator, and that's when I knew this was not for me because I don't have the connections. I don't know people. I don't understand the whole space. And it's like I'm not really adding much value, you know? So yeah, influencer marketing is definitely a whole nother ballpark. I'm actually interested in learning about influencer marketing. But yeah, different topic.
Thank
Awesome.
you so much for that. Because I think my biggest mistake was I also did a bit of digital marketing. And I think my biggest mistake and what has been holding me back or what makes this thing like look like such a big ball is that I put it in one bag where I was like, digital marketing is just everything. It's social media
Mhm.
marketing, it's influencer marketing and everything like that. So now as you guys are speaking, I'm there's actually a department for things.
Okay, not Golo, you are like breaking a bit. What was the last line?
Oh no, I was just saying, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I was just saying, I think with this Zoom call, it kind of made everything highlighted to me because I did a bit of digital marketing as well. So I thought everything was in one bag, like social media marketing, influencer marketing. So that's I think that's what made it so so difficult or what made it look so impossible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely.
Awesome, awesome. We're gonna be taking our last question. Um, Kitumezi says, I've seen some people say that they prefer posting manually instead of using scheduling tools. I'm curious, do you think scheduling posts is a good strategy or does it take away from real-time engagement? Good question. I love it.
No, that's a very good question, actually. Personally, um, I prefer posting manually, personally, because of um like you said, real-time engagements. Sometimes I feel like with me, from my experiences, I've scheduled posts and then I forgot about the fact that I scheduled a post. So that's why I prefer, especially with a platform like TikTok, because also I believe some scheduling tools decrease the what you call it decreases not the value, but then this word, it's on my tongue, but the what is it? The thingy, like the oh guys, I've been
What
talking.
are you saying like you being visible?
No,
What
like you see the video when it buffers, like the quality
the
of the video.
quality?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like it takes away from the quality when you're posting videos. Yeah,
Awesome.
well, yeah, so that's why I prefer to just post manually on platforms like TikTok, even Reels, but just in general, like I think real time sometimes it does take away from real time engagements, especially if you're someone who, like myself, who's very forgetful. Um, you know, but then I think also sometimes it is beneficial if you have a lot of content with that client and they're people who want to push out a lot of content. It's beneficial then, you know it's beneficial so you know that okay, this post is other thing, because sometimes you're busy with something else, you're forgetting, oh yo, at 11 I have to post again at this time, I have to post again at this time. So that's when scheduling tools come in. But if you're someone who doesn't have to juggle a lot of things, I think you can genuinely just post manually. But also you get clients who don't want you to I've seen, actually this is actually a good conversation to have, right? So I've had clients who felt the need, like they don't want you to have access to their direct social media. So what they do is that they connect you to a platform like Buffer or something, and they like, in okay, this is where you're gonna go engage, this is where you're gonna schedule tools. It happens sometimes. Some clients are not, because obviously we have stuff like people hacking, social media and stuff like that. So that's a way of them to protect themselves. You Mupulusi, as a social media manager, do you think using those type of platforms like Buffer, right? Do you think it takes away from the value of what a social media manager brings when you have like the actual, access to the social media and you can actually like, engage? Or do you think it's just the same thing? It is what it is.
It's actually a good question. Thank you for asking me. First of all, I'm going to say uh, using tools that's really affect your visibility. You will see if you test the tool, schedule a post, and also upload it in real time. You
Yeah.
will see that the algorithm won't really push your content when
Yeah.
you're scheduling a post. So it does affect that.
Hmm.
Unless, so my tip would be that, let's say if you are launching a brand, don't use tools.
Yeah.
Use real-time engagement if you are launching a brand. So if a client is starting from scratch, use real-time engagement because it's really going to affect your visibility on social media. You
Yeah.
see, brands like Wo Mr. Price, Wo Macams or
Uh,
whatever, they can use those tools. I mean,
yeah, they're already there.
they are
Like,
already out there. But if you are launching a brand and you really want to use a tool, no, no, no,
no,
don't
yeah.
do that. I don't like tools unless a client is saying, like what Utumelo is saying, we use this tool. So
Hmm.
this is how you're going to log in.
Yeah.
If you're a social media manager and you know and you can see that this is affecting their growth, you have the right to say, you know what, I can see you've been using this tool and it's affecting, the growth of the page. So you
Yeah.
tell them what to do and say, give me those login details. I will log in. So you have the right to tell the client because they hired you to do what's
Yeah.
right for their business. So I feel like tell them, and then go into the last question where you are asking that does it minimize I mean, does that also saying we don't have a role
Yeah.
anymore as social media managers? I don't think so.
Hmm.
uh it depends on what a client wants,
Yeah.
so you can have that conversation during the discovery call to say,
Mm.
do you like your posts to be scheduled or do you want me to post them in real time? So you can still have that conversation and ask them. I do ask them so that I understand how do they like working with me.
Yeah, because I think also, just to put this into a conversation or like a thought for people, right? We live in a world where AI is coming in. So it's very important for us to be able to differentiate ourselves from AI, from technology, So that's why I asked that question, because I also want to spark something in people who are beginners. Don't be generic. Don't do what somebody can do for themselves. Bring value, you know? So, yeah, is there any other question, guys? I think it means asked another one. Mm,
Do you need to be an expert to offer basic SEO services as part of social media?
no, No, I don't believe so. SEO is something that it depends. Obviously, there's SEO for websites and then there's SEO on TikTok. I think basic SEO is the like ones we use on TikTok and ones we use on Instagram, making sure that when they search something, your client pops up. So TikTok SEO, I feel like it's very easy in my opinion, because based off of personal experiences, if you search when I search social media manager or search do me social media manager, I pop up. So that is search engine optimization at its best. So I don't believe you need like expert skills to do basics. But if you're someone who's probably wants to help their clients with websites and stuff like that, then I think it's very important for you to up your SEO skills, because when they search that specific brand, they want to pop up at the top on Google. So that's expert SEO skills. So yeah, I don't know if you want to add something there, policy.
I mean, social media as a whole is SEO.
Yeah.
Like what Dumi is saying. If you wanna go and check Canva, I pop up. I'm sorry to say.
Pop
Go
up,
to the
bro.
social,
As long as
go
you're popping
go
up.
and look for Canva on TikTok. I will pop up. I'm
Yes.
there. So SEO, you need to learn SEO as a social media manager. I think it's a topic on its own. for
It is.
social media managers, how do you really optimize your
Mhm.
caption, optimize your hashtags, optimize your bio, and all that. So when clients are looking for such specific things, you need to know those things. Those are basic, guys, for
Yeah.
social media. You need to know how to tailor that for your clients. So
Mhm.
I don't think you need to be an expert. You just need to learn. Why
That's
are we
it.
searching
Yeah.
for social media manager and Utumi is always appearing? Hey, Maradumi, I saw you are appearing, girl. I was there.
I must appear.
Appearing. Hey, also when we search freelancing, you are appearing to me. That's where
I
we
must
found you.
appear.
Your SEO is on point. And
Thank
you know
you.
what? If you understand, you need to learn that.
Mhm.
It's
It's very
very, very
important.
important. Mm.
It's very important. I agree. I think also, like you said, it's a different conversation that we get to have as social media managers about how you can position not just your own online presence, but also your client's online presence so that when we search for your clients, they pop up. They are in specific conversations that align with their brand. So, yeah. Do you have any other questions?
I think we are done. I'm sure people are ready to go out
Yeah.
and have a great time. It's a Saturday. Any questions before we leave, guys? To me, oh, this has been so amazing. I wanted to say, let's just chill and continue with another session
No,
because
I
I'm
just
really
really,
loving these questions.
yeah,
Because you know, as social media managers, we don't really discuss what are we doing right, what are we doing
yeah,
wrong. And some
definitely.
people would be like, I'm a social media manager, but yo, you can see Rio, there's just a lot of gaps.
Yeah.
So
No,
this
it's
was
definitely conversations I feel like obviously will come together and facilitate and want to like bring people part of those conversations through these type of webinars, through the networking events, you know. At the end of the day, we are growing all together. I myself being here listening to your questions, I'm also growing. It's also sparking certain questions within myself, you know. Um, I see Tandega raised her hand. So
Tandeka, last question and then we leave.
yeah.
Yes, thank you. So I'm a content creator. I've been a content creator for a while, and only recently I'm getting into social media managing. And I have a potential client.
Mhm.
She's got the numbers. She's got a lot of numbers because she's been jumping on trends. Sorry, but then not really, no engagement or community on like her socials. And
Mhm.
initially, it was just a collaboration that me and her did for the service that she had offered me. And when I saw her page, I told her that was interested in managing or like being her social media manager. And then she
Mhm.
said, after the collaboration, we'll see and probably draft something for me to help her. So
Mhm.
it's been about 2 weeks now after the collaboration, and I'm not sure um, how to go now about securing her as a client, because when we spoke about the collaboration and an opportunity for me to manage her social media, she said after the collaboration, then we'd discuss it. So now I'm not really sure how to start or how to carry this conversation, because I don't really have experience as I just started. But I do see that she needs the social media, like she needs social media management.
Mhm.
So can I just get advice, as I'm new and I don't really have experience or anything to kind of like show her besides my own personal page?
Okay. So what you can do is
Mhm.
put together a proposal, win her over with a proposal. So what I usually include in my proposals is the problem, how I'm gonna solve it. And then I go to, let's say like you go to pages that are similar to hers, right? And you pick and choose content that basically, like you said, her problem is engagement, community, having a community. You take content that encourage, like that is bringing that page community, and then maybe you say stuff like why this works, you know, why
Mhm.
they got this specific numbers and stuff like that. So show value. I think you can show your value through a proposal, you know. So
Mm,
I would recommend you doing that, doing research on pages that's similar on hers, then maybe taking that content and saying, okay, this is why this worked, and this is how we can make it to align with your brand. You know, I'm not saying go copy and paste what that page did on hers, but just say, this is why this worked, and this is how we can change it up to align with your brand. So show value using knowledge, basically.
mm,
That's what I'm saying.
mm,
Yeah.
okay. Mm, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Like what Melo is saying is like if you were a social media manager for Nando's, that's an example. What would you do? What
Mhm.
would you change and stuff like that? So you go into the similar niche
Mhm.
and finding what do you rectify with what issues, I
Yeah.
mean, what the issues that she's having. Hey, but Taneka, before you start, you need to do a lot of research. Do
Yeah.
a lot of research, especially with that industry. As much as you were the content creator, understand
What the
because you might jump in, sign that contract, and maybe ruin the relationship that you have with her as a
Mhm.
content creator because you jumped in being like a beginner in social
Yeah.
media. It might also be a disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Taking that opportunity can be good, but you must also be open with them to say, I don't know, but I will do my best because I'm learning on the side. Maybe you can tell I'm learning a course or something
Yeah.
like so that you at least give her like a
Like
view of
manage
I'm,
expectations,
yeah,
basically.
I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm,
Tomorrow she's going to blame you. You ruin the whole relationship. I don't even want you as my content creator. Da da
Mhm.
da. All that.
mm, mm, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Oh, and Tandeka, we do have go to our YouTube. We do have another webinar that talks about how to onboard
Mm,
clients. Onboarding is important. What type of documents do you need to onboard? If you're going to start with her, it will explain how do you onboard a client, how do you tailor everything to that client. So we do have that. And
mm,
that's it, guys. Thank you so much for those who are also not part of the community, which is the Colabora Hub group. Do join it. I'll drop a link before I leave. I hope I have the link so that you guys can join. But if you're already part of the family or if you are new, welcome. We're still going to have more webinars and we really want to continue educating you guys in doing the best job.
Mhm.
Guys, I think I'm not finding the link at this moment. I'm so sorry, guys. But if there is anybody not on Collabora Hub who needs a link right now? Because I'm trying to browse through right now and I can't copy. Anyone who needs the link? If not, then we are all in the Collabora Hub community group.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Enjoy
Yeah.
your Saturday. Thank you so much to me. We are
Thank
definitely gonna
you.
do more. And I hope if we are doing another one, it should be an in-person one and not a webinar.
Please, please, guys, when we do in-person stuff, please come, guys. Please.
Yes, we definitely want to have you maybe on the next workshop, but we'll definitely keep you updated on what we are planning.
No
And
problem.
we really love this. Thank you, and all the people who are starting.